Hello, and welcome to 3 True Deep Web Stories. Let's get started. Number 1. One day, we ran into the deep web. The most disturbing sight we found was a comprehensive guide for cooking women. We're not talking about a short joke here. This page had information on what body types to use for specific cuts, how to prepare these cuts, and how to cook the girl so she can live as long as possible. It horrifies me that people way worse than the freaks on Criminal Minds exist. Number 2. It was my third time on the deep web, and I was just looking around at the sites. I found this one guy's homepage, and on the sidebar, I saw a link that said for journalists and people new to the deep web. I clicked on it, hoping it was interesting and helpful information. A new page opened, and a picture started to load. Thank God for my slow internet, because all that loaded was the head of an old Asian man with blood on his chin. I quickly closed the tab before the rest of the image loaded. To this day, I wonder what the whole picture was, but at the same time, I'm thankful I didn't see it. Number 3. One day, I was invited over a friend's house for a sleepover. When I got there, he immediately told me he had something to show me. We went upstairs and he showed me his laptop. He said he had got onto the deep web. We stayed up all night, browsing through all the interesting things on it. He showed me how to use it, and I took some notes. The next day, I decided to try it out for myself. I downloaded the software and was good to go. When on the deep web, there's a page full of links. In order to go to sites, you keep clicking on the new links that pop up. At first it was very boring. Tons of dead websites or disgusting ones filled with videos of real people getting killed. Eventually, I found a forum. I can't remember what it was about, but I asked how to get to any interesting sites that were not illegal. One guy sent me a link and said it was a site that contained leaked government documents. I thought that was interesting, so I clicked on it. When I pulled up the page, I was pretty shocked. It was a whole bunch of videos of people getting tortured, raped, murdered in the most horrible of ways. I have a pretty strong stomach, so I was ready to ignore it and just exit out. But I realized that all the videos were playing at once. When I moved the mouse over one, there was no bar to let you pause it. That's when it hit me. These were all thousands of live streams. I clicked on one that said, "Homeless man kidnapped in my basement." In it, a man was tied to a chair, covered in blood. To his left was a table, and on it was a whole bunch of tools like axes, knives, drills, hammers, etc. And there was a hooded man standing by it. On the right of the live stream, there was a chat box, and people were requesting the hooded man to do various things like cut off the homeless man's hand, rip out his hair, etc. Eventually, one man in the chat box said that he would pay several Bitcoin for the hooded man to gouge out the homeless man's eyes. The hooded man agreed and grabbed what looked like a fork off the table and began to walk toward the homeless man. I quickly closed the live stream, but I could still hear it. I tried to leave the site, but it was frozen, and I could only hear the horrible sounds coming from the stream. A few seconds later, the sound stopped, and a chat box appeared in the center of the screen. I couldn't exit out, but in the box, somebody typed, "Hello, how did you like the site?" I paused for a moment, not sure if it was some kind of automated message, but then he typed again, "Are you going to answer?" I stayed frozen in place, but eventually typed in, "Who is this?" The guy explained that he was the owner of the site, and that he liked to greet first-time users whenever he could. I got a disgusted look on my face, and this is where things got really scary. In the chat box, the man typed, "It's rude to make faces, Jake." My eyes got wide, and I noticed my webcam was on, when I always keep it off. Also, how did this man know my name? I covered up the webcam with a sticky note and typed, "How do you know my name? I'm calling the police." There was a brief pause, and then horrifyingly, a bunch of data was posted in the box. I looked at it and realized what it was. Everything about me, My full name, email address, age. It even had all my parents' info as well. I panicked and shut off my computer. I did a complete wipe of all my computer's data and went to get drunk. I was under a lot of stress. That night, my mom said she wouldn't be home. She didn't say where she was, but at this point in my life, I didn't care. My dad, of course, was nowhere to be seen. I couldn't sleep, so I stayed up watching a movie. I fell asleep on the couch. I don't know why, but about 2:30 in the morning, I woke up. The TV was still on, and it gave off a dim light. But when I opened my eyes a little more, I almost screamed. There was a man standing just a few feet away from me with a mask on. I flew off the couch and darted for the door. I heard heavy footsteps coming after me. I flung open the door and ran outside screaming as loud as I could, trying to get somebody's attention. I looked behind me and saw the man. He was running, and he was faster than me. I screamed louder and noticed I had tears running down my face. Then a bag wrapped around my head, and I was pushed to the ground with such force that I felt blood in my mouth. I heard a car speed up beside me, and I was being dragged to the sound of it. They were taking me away, and I was probably going to be on that site. I had almost accepted my death until the man in the mask screamed in pain and dropped me. I pulled the bag off my head and saw the van speed away. And I saw my neighbor hitting the masked man with a baseball bat. The police arrived, took the masked man in, eventually caught the van, and shut the site down. My mom and I moved out, and I will never, ever go on the deep web again. And I encourage others to never go on it either. Hello everyone, it's been a while since I made another video. I was busy doing a lot of art stuff, and that pretty much consumed all of my time. But I'll try to upload more consistently and put out more content. And you probably heard some of these deep web stories from other YouTubers. Like, it was pretty hard trying to find new deep web stories. But if you liked it, like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching. And lastly, you may be watching me, but who's watching you?